so you can see it. But yeah, you can see on here. So I haven't decided if I'm going to, if I plan on cleaning the connections themselves or going ahead and hardwiring them together, because it really doesn't make any sense what they're doing. I mean, they just basically put these connectors in. Let me be this one. They just basically put these connectors in when all they do is corrode. So I mean, I can peel these back and hardwire them in, or I can just try and clean them up and hope that they don't mess up again. But as you can see, the wiring is on these things. They're just not great. But it's kind of where I'm at. Work on pulling the balance tube off. I'll have to take out the coil packs, all these sensors behind here. I am having a small fuel leak right in here. It's dripping off of, I don't know if it's just the hose is old and I just need to replace this section of hose, or this whole, I don't even know what this is, module I guess is bad. For some reason the ground that is supposed to be over here is not over here. It's not grounded off anywhere. And a whole bunch of hoses on this side to take care of. Clutch booster, brake booster, idle air control. And then these are fuel lines as well. So, along with some sensors back here, some connectors, and more idle air control, which goes all the way from here to here. It's pretty crazy. And throttle position sensor. So it's a lot. So let's get to it. I think I figured out part of that bad idle. So this is the balance tube. You can see how there's a little bit of oil. A little bit of oil right there, and that is the passenger side. Alright? Come over here. You can see how there's also a little bit of like caked on oil. I think that was probably part of the idle issue that I was having. Could be wrong, but I'm not entirely sure. So I'm gonna keep digging and see what else turns up. Yeah, so just getting this balance tube off. There's two wing nuts on this side. Part of the idle air control goes in the back of the balance tube. A couple of fittings on there, a couple of hoses, clamps, take those off. And then over here there's two bolts and one ring nut over here. And and this is the hose that got disconnected. So now that is off, we will continue pulling stuff off. Start with probably move on to pulling the other intake tube off and work on throttle position sensor and this whole driver's side, because this is where most of the mess is. So we'll start over here and we'll keep going with it. Alright, next thing you're going to do is disconnect the throttle and cruise control cables. It was just two 10mm bolts that had held the bracket in. Next we can move on to removing the fuel line. Sorry, I don't know the actual technical term for it, but that's what we're removing next. We'll keep working on these sensors and hoses on the side and the back of the motor. Hopefully we'll have this thing out shortly. Alright, back at it. We've gotten to the point where I've removed all of the coil packs, so you don't have to worry about those anymore. But there are these little, I'll show you, these retaining clips, just like that, on all the injectors that hold them in. And so I already popped it off, but it's still down there, and it's very tight. Let's see. I don't know if y'all can. I guess I should get on the injector. It's this one. So I don't know if you can. Let's see. you see it just hanging off the back of that thing off the, oh yeah. So you have to get all three of those off each of the injectors, and then they slide right out. So once you pull the injector harness off, you're free to just go ahead and peel back all of this onto the windshield wiper, and that'll be it for as far as like EFI harness, I believe. Still working on that back of the motor. Making some progress, we're getting there. It's definitely taking some time, a lot longer than, you know, a lot longer than I anticipated, I guess, but we're getting there.
and 10% off fence panels, plywood, and OSB. Plus, at the same time, not driving all over town for lumber. That's really big. You work hard enough for your money. Saving it should be easy. Now it is. Promo pricing on what you need every day. Only at the Home Depot. More savings.
That's what your gasket will probably look like whenever you pull it off. So you have to clean up the mating surface whenever you put your new gasket on there. We're gonna pull off this fuel rail, which was a fun thing to get to. Just removing these bolts, and that'll be pretty much it. We'll be able to pull the fuel rail out and replace it with with the other fuel rail, and install that one.